I just gotta get you out the cage. I'm a young lover's age. Gonna need a spark to ignite. My songs know what you did in the dark. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up. I'm on fire. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up. I'm on
Alright everyone, it's your boy Kane Atsuki here, back at it again with another new What If. Now, y'all might be wondering, where'd you even get this idea? Well, all of you except one of the 3 to 4 people who has helped this channel grow. He has come up with a lot of ideas, including ships, what ifs, and other things. And well, kaboom. As you can see here, do what if Naruto was a fallen angel with black wings and he can turn into the 40 tails. The ship, as you can read, the ship for this series is Naruto x Kaguya x Momoshiki. And Kaguya and Momoshiki are both sisters and they fight over Naruto. The way I'm going to take that into check is, well, have you ever seen that one Loud House episode where there's 5 sisters, where there's 5 sisters each, there's 10 sisters, right, and 1 boy, and half the sisters want to go to a theme park, and half of the other sisters want to go to a beach. And the brother is the final vote. The two groups literally do as much as they could to bribe him and try to get him on theirs to vote for whatever they wanted. So basically, that's how they're going to be fighting over him. And let me just say that it eventually ended out with the 10 sisters literally fighting over him, the boy, and over their brother. So yeah, big oof. But yeah, basically, this is what Naruto will look like in his base form. This is what Naruto will look like in his Dark Angel form. And I forgot one little thing. Naruto's weapon. Yes, of course Naruto has a weapon. This is his weapon. Hold on. Much better. Now it's right with all of my other stuff. Now, this is his blade. It is called the Fallen Crucible. Now allow me to explain how Naruto is a fallen angel. As we begin our story in heaven, the place of the divine beings. As we see the gods, basically, we see God and all sorts of sub-gods talking, having a meeting. As this meeting is about Lucifer's rebelliousness, like most things. As I forgot to mention, Naruto has 6 wings, 3 on each side. Okay? He is an archangel. Anyways, and so God doesn't really like Lucifer's rebelliousness, as it could put many things into catastrophe and cause the universe to go into a catastrophic failure. As they're afraid of this, as they do not want all of existence to shut down or erase itself, pretty much. As they hear that, Lucifer, he's gathered an army of demons of sorts. Hundreds of demons, including himself, to fight against the gods and the angels and the archangels. As the gods are discussing like how they're going to defeat Lucifer, because Lucifer wants to overthrow God so he can control all of existence. As they're all just scrambling around trying to figure what to do, and then the doors open. They just swing open. Or no, the gods are scrambling around trying to talk about what they're going to do, and suddenly a blue and purple glowing symbol appears on the door. As suddenly, kaboom! Out walks a 6 black-winged, black and white haired angel, or archangel. As God looks over and says, Lucifer. As Naruto says, hello, as he says, hello, Father. As the gods are prepared to fight, and so are the archangels, and God is prepared to fight. As he says, oh, don't be absurd, I'm not here to fight. Ugh. I've come to the realization that that my rebelliousness is a bit of a sin, and it's a problem. I have no games, and I mean it, as Naruto is telling the truth. As he then says, I only have one request in order for peace. As God says, what? What, Lucifer? As Naruto then says, I wish for you to reopen the portal to the Forbidden Realm, the realm where mortals actually have abilities, the realm where there is more than just your religion, and where there's more than just religion. I wish to go to the realm of Chakra, as his father knows that the realm of Chakra is a one-way ticket, no way out, only one way in, and that's if God himself allows it. As God is thinking, he loves his son, but he wants there to be peace. As he then says, all right, I'll let you go to the realm of Chakra. As Lucifer then says, good. As for my armies of humans, I only leave to them my most trusted friend. I entrust everything I have, including my life, to him. As he then says, Satan. I entrust everything to Satan. As in a As then a man with red dragon wings and with red demon wings, hold on, as a woman with black and blue clothes and black and blue fiery horns and white hair enters the room behind Lucifer. As she says, "My king has authorized me to lead our armies. As long as the angels do nothing wrong, we shall stay in the gates of and we shall stay behind the gates of hell." Is that understand? And is that understood? As God would agree with this, as she would then say, and as Lucifer would then look at Naruto, as she would kneel and say, "I'm sorry. Goodbye, my king. I'm sorry I cannot come with." As he then says, "Don't be. You're like a childhood friend, a sister to me. So don't worry." As he would smile, and leave. As when he said, "You're like a sister to me," she would smile and cry. Tears of blue fire. As she would be smiling and say, "Hey, goodbye, my lord. Goodbye, my lord." Now, y'all might be wondering, why'd she cry? Because the same thing with boys happens. You see, she was basically like childhood friends with him and loved him. As when he says, "You're like a sister to me," she's heartbroken. Seriously, it's like someone took a minigun and shot her heart with every single bullet. Just shots fired. As God basically opens a portal, which Lucifer walks in and says, "Goodbye, everyone. I leave to you only these words. I leave to you only my words." As he then says the whole Madara speech. Now, I cannot remember the whole thing, so I'm not gonna say it. And then he just leaves through the portal. As those words would be known as the speech of Lucifer, as they would be known throughout all history. As we go to pretty much Earth, billions upon billion, and we go to pretty much the Earth, as there's two sisters, hers just wandering the Earth. As one of them has two children following her, and the other has no one following her. As the two sisters are just, walking side by side, as the sister with longer hair then says, basically she's thinking, "Gah, why did I have to have children with a human, a mortal, a human nonetheless?" As she really does not like Hagoromo or Hamura. As the other sister basically thinks, thank God, thank God I didn't have, thank God I did not have children with a human. As the two sisters are just, wandering around, as they then see a purple and blue portal open, and they see a mysterious wormhole or door or gateway just open in the middle of the sky. As they then see a boy who looks like this with 6 wings walk out. As the boy then says, perfect. Now to see this new world. As he's walking around, seeing humans, getting used to things. And, well, he sees that humans are selfish. He just got there and there's already sin. As Lucifer realizes that there's no getting out of this one, he already asked his father already opened the gate, and he's already gone this far, there's no turning back. As Lucifer then comes up with a plan, and this sets everything into action. As Lucifer's entire plan is to give humans chakra, and is to create chakra using humans. As pretty much everything is just like dominoes to him. One event after another, pawn after pawn, everything falls into place. Think of it like this way. His finger triggers the humans and he triggers the humans to hate Kaguya. Now, of course, he wasn't hating Kaguya, it's just that he wanted there to be chakra. And he wanted to create something that never existed before. As he created... Hold on. As he created... He said, well, pretty much he had the human... He pushed the humans into hating Kaguya. He pushed Kaguya into wanting to kill the humans, led the 2 sons to see her doing this unspeakable crime, and to doing this, and everything else just fell down into place. And eventually, Kaguya was defeated and sealed in the moon. As, well, when Kaguya was defeated and the 10 tails was being split up, Hagoromo would be, just standing there, as he already split all of his mother's chakra out to the humans. He already has split his mother's chakra all the way out, and it would eventually create the first chakra using humans. As Hagoromo would see something. A boy who looked like he was 10, and who looked like he was 11, with black hair with some white tips, 6 black wings, and basically in this type of outfit. As the man would have then said, "Bravo, bravo." That was indeed quite something. I was right to choose you and your brother. And now you've created, and now, just a couple hundred, and just a couple of years from now, there will be humans who use chakra. As Hagoromo would be absolutely confused as he would look at. Hold on. Hagoromo would actually be confused as he would look at the boy. As Hagoromo would say, who in the dickens are you? As Naruto would say, my name is Lucifer. And basically, I am kind of the whole reason why your mother began killing humans, why humans began hating your mother, and everything else. Because I wanted to create chakra using humans. Because I figure that if humans have some sort of power, their greed will be satisfied and all this sin will be gone. As in truth, Lucifer just wanted to create peace, as humans were always fighting and having wars and everything like this. As Lucifer wanted there to be no more fighting, no more pain, no more wars. And so he figured that if he was to fill the humans' greed by giving them powers, and by giving them chakra, then the wars would end. As Kaguya and her sister, who were both sealed in the moon, would be basically watching this. As they would actually feel for Naruto. Now, Kaguya would still be just a tiny bit mad that it had to happen this way, but all the man wants is just a peaceful world to live in. A world without greed, a world without sin, a world without fighting. As Hagoromo then says, he's dying, and he says, wait, what are you going to do now? As Naruto then would say, hey, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to a place where you will never see me again. And goodbye. As he would know that Hagoromo is dying without Ten Tails chakra. Hold on. As Lucifer would basically just fly away, as he would be in a giant valley of sorts. He would grab his sword he would grab the falling crucible, as he would stab it into the ground, as he would then utter a spell, and as he would then utter some words in a unspeakable, unhearable language. In an unspeakable but hearable language, as only he could speak it. As suddenly, appeared to be a black crystal would form around him. As Naruto would be basically sealing himself into the form of a black crystal for, a very, very, very long time, as about 2,000 years would pass after all that. As humans would begin using chakra, and as humans would use chakra, but this would do the opposite of what Naruto wanted, as when he wanted to stop wars by filling their greed, little did he know that by giving humans power, he only increased their greed, as humans would want even more power. And some humans, like Orochimaru, would go as far as wanting immortality, something that only gods and angels could have, and something that only gods and archangels could have. As we go to Naruto's, and we go to the moon, as the two sisters are sealed in the moon bar in a sort of soulscape, basically inside a seal. As they are talking about, well, the same subject they've been talking about for about 2,000 years. Lucifer. As they would have caught his name, and they would now know his name is Lucifer. As Kaguya and her sister would basically be like girls at a sleepover talking about a boy they like. Instead of just regular high school girls, it's two goddesses trapped, sealed inside the moon, talking about a boy they like. As pretty much Kaguya says that Lucifer is hers, and that she's the oldest, so she should have him. As Momoshiki then says, "Nuh-uh, just because you're the oldest doesn't mean you get to have him." Let him choose. We'll let him choose, as the two basically are bickering. As Kaguya then says, "He's mine." As Momoshiki then says, "No, he's mine." As this would go on for, as I said, 2,000 years of bickering over one guy. As we go to Naruto's perspective, and we go to the Leaf Village, which was once the valley. As in the middle of the Leaf Village, there is a black crystal. And there's a giant black crystal which has been called the Unholy Stone. The demonic stone. As anyone that touches it gets powers, but basically they get stronger at the price of their life. As this crystal basically, it's sucking away their life energy to break itself. And guess what? One night the Nine Tails, basically one night, Obito Uchiha attacks, and he releases Nine Tails. And he goes to Kushina, who was pregnant with a baby, but it ended up being a miscarriage. As she then says, as he basically extracts the Nine Tails and releases it to destroy everything. As the Nine Tails it's out and it's destroying everything and causing untold havoc. As the Nine Tails, basically it tries to destroy the demonic stone. As it basically, Nine Tails touches the stone. And it punches the stone, as then suddenly red chakra would come out of the Nine Tails and go into the stone, as then it would crack. As the Nine Tails would keep punching and punching and punching, but with each punch it would get weaker. In fact, it would be so weak that the beast would have gotten so weak that it was only equal to, well, 1/100th of the 10 Tails' power, as it right now would be just a tiny bit stronger than the 8 Tails, as the 9 Tails Kurama would run away in fear of, death, as all of his chakra would just be going inside of the stone. As before he left, he did one more punch. As then the crystal would shatter, and out would come a being who just got a lot of chakra absorbed, as then a giant 6-winged man who looked like this would walk out, as he'd be carrying his blade, the fallen crucible, as he would be looking around and he would sense chakra. As then Naruto would say, how about, as Naruto right now, he would be, his wings would have gotten gray, his hair would be gray, and he would have a long beard, as he absorbed too much power, and in order to absorb that much power, it took a heavy toll on his body, as basically he will die. As then Naruto is looking around and sees the dead baby. And Lucifer basically looks around for a sort of vessel, as he then sees what was supposed to be a baby boy. A baby girl. As he then says, "This vessel will do nicely." As his body then turns into a skeleton and a black, purple, and blue flame exits his body and goes into Kushina. As then a baby is born with whiskers, yellow hair, and blue eyes, as that baby is Naruto. As when Naruto is 4, he's called a demon or a monster, as they know that something brought Naruto to life. As Naruto has no memories or recollection of who or what he is. Well, one day Naruto's being bullied as he sprouts 40 black and blue tails. 40 black and purple tails. And grows ginormous as he becomes the 40 tails. To be correct, he's about 4 times stronger than the 10 tails. And he's about 40 times stronger than the 10 tails. So yeah. Oof. As Naruto, basically, he's walking around, causing rampage, and he falls asleep. As inside of Naruto's mind, he sees this. Well, no, he just sees a shadowy figure that is made of black, purple, and blue flame. As this figure then reveals itself to look like this. As this figure then says, "I am Lucifer." As Naruto is absolutely scared and he says, What? As Lucifer then says, "How can I explain this? I am you and you are me." As right now I'm basically just a tiny strip of consciousness that you left over to explain some things. You're not human. You're called an archangel. You are very powerful, and you can have, but don't really need, chakra. As Naruto would basically be asleep. He'd be chakra exhausted for about 4 days, about 4 months. As for those 4 months, Naruto would have been taught all about his past life. Naruto would pretty much be toned, like very muscular. As what happened in his mindscape, of course, will happen to his body. As we go to the moon again to see the 2 girls talking about how Naruto is awake and how Naruto is back and how Lucifer is back but goes by a new name of Naruto. As the 2 sisters then say Naruto-kun is mine. And they're basically bickering and arguing again. As well, when Naruto wakes up, he's all alone because he's thought of as a demon. And I'm gonna say that Kushina and Minato are still dead. So yeah. As Minato would then say, "It's time to..." And as Minato would then say, "Good morning." I'm sorry. As Naruto would wake up, he would be not even in a hospital. He would just be at the same place he was. As he would hear a voice and he would turn around. As he would see the cliffhanger no jutsu. As that's where I'm ending this part off. Hope y'all enjoyed. Goodbye. Tell me if you like this series and if you want more. I'm sorry it's a bit shorter than all my other videos. It's just, I can't really think right now, so this is the best you got right now. So goodbye.